In the Fallout universe, the word disturbing is not uncommon. There's hideous creatures by this title, tough decisions to be made that go by this title. But perhaps the most disturbing of all are the secret possibilities that hang just in front of you like a web. Problem is, you're too busy looking at the spider. So today I will be listing 5 disturbing theories in Fallout 4. Let's get into it. Starting off with number 5, a plague is on its way that could wipe out all of humankind. So if you've done McCready's companion quest, you'll know that his son Duncan has contracted a mysterious illness that no one has been able to cure, and it leaves him with a terrible fever and these painful blue boils all over his body. These symptoms are very similar to something called the New Plague, and this was even worse. This was a virus created by the US government that caused extreme hemorrhaging, fever, and clogged respiration, and it was intended to be used against the Chinese. Well, not long before the Great War, this got out and began infecting people. MedTech was able to make a cure for it, but then the Great War happened, so it was believed that the virus just eventually died out, that's all. But as we can see from Duncan, it looks like now it's an evolved version that has somehow survived. And since it's had so much time to fester, who knows how resistant it is to our own immune systems. Back to the quest, you do find a supposed cure for it, but 1, how do we know it's going to work? And 2, even if it does, we need to find a way to make more of it. If not, a widespread plague could be well on its way. Number 4, all mannequins in the game are actually synths. Now, I know, it's easy to point to something and say, that's a synth, and just leave it at that, but listen to the argument that has been made about this theory. First, when you get to the Institute, you'll learn that Father has been observing you for some time, so perhaps these mannequins are hooked up to the Institute computers, kind of like cameras. It would explain why they're all over the place, sometimes even in these peculiar positions. Then at the Warren Theater, there's a synth hiding among these mannequins that will attack you when you get too close. Maybe this one slipped through the cracks and wasn't put on, rest mode like the other ones. And then finally, in the southwest waters of Far Harbor, when you find the sunken ship filled with all these mannequins, the captain has a note that talks about him hearing these things moving and making sounds inside of the cargo hold. So it's very possible that every mannequin you've ever seen has been watching your every move. Number 3, Mama Murphy secretly sends you out to kill her own son. So for this one, when you go to the Corvega assembly plant, you're going to run into the Raider gang leader known as Jared, and because he's hostile, you're obviously going to fight and kill him. But what you later learn is this, that Mama Murphy spent time with him when he was a young boy, and she predicted that he would be abducted by Raiders and turned into a monster, so eventually they split. Well, as Jared grew up, he became deeply envious of her abilities to see into the future, and this led him to doing very dangerous things to try and achieve that. Years have passed, and now he's gotten word that an elderly woman is traveling with Preston Garvey, and this leads him to sending out his followers to attack them and try to capture her. And it's very likely that Mama Murphy has seen this coming all along. So when you get tasked with going there to kill all the Raiders, she certainly doesn't stop you, and since she was with him at such a young age, it does seem likely that the two of them could be related. So for years, it's possible that Mama Murphy has known all along that you would be the one to come and put an end to her own son. Number 2, Kasumi from Far Harbor is not actually a synth. So from the beginning of the DLC, you're led to believe that she is, or at least she feels very confidently that she is, and then when you get to Acadia, it's widely accepted that she is just, in fact, a synth. But here's where it gets really disturbing. If you're like me and you sided with the Brotherhood to destroy everyone at Acadia, after you kill her, a synth component cannot be found on her body, but they can be found on all the synths around her. And then to make matters worse, Bethesda doesn't even deny this. When you return to her parents, you have the option of telling them whether you thought she was a synth or not. It's completely up to your own interpretation. So it's possible that we have a young, very suggestible girl who gets swept up into something that she should not have been, and then depending on what you choose, either A, she believes a lie and she causes her to never see her family again under this, false pretense, or B, she ends up losing her life entirely. And number 1, Preston Garvey is a criminal mastermind. Just think about this. He's in control of various gangs of raiders and gunners that he sends out to always be attacking settlements. All of the loot they can find, well, that's their reward. Then he tells you and the Minutemen to go and save these places, but the thing is, the raiders don't know he's the one ordering that because you are the general of the Minutemen. Why do you think he was so quick to promote you? By doing all of this, he keeps the Commonwealth in this constant state of division, with himself being at the very top on both sides. And then, if you work with the Minutemen at the end of the game, he uses you to get rid of all the other competition for power, right? The Institute and the Brotherhood of Steel, they get destroyed. And he doesn't have to worry about the railroad because they're really not much of a threat. And then at that point, all of those settlements have been secured and are under his protection. He owns them. And this is why, now with the addition of Nuka World, he hates you coming back and raiding settlements, because you're directly compromising the empire that he's worked so hard to build. Preston Garvey could be the main villain in all of Fallout 4. And there you have it, 5 disturbing theories in Fallout 4. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And down below, please tell me, do you have another theory that you would add to this list? Alright, thank you very much for watching, and oh, there's another video of mine that you have not yet watched. Here, let me mark it on your map.